So, I just wanted to make this video because I had reached a point, sorry if I cry, but this has been an interesting and beautiful emotional process. But I reached a point where, you know, in my quantum understanding of things, in my 0-point meditations, you know, that I'm able to connect, you know, all the dots, any dots that are given, I can connect them, you know, and every point of view can be incorporated into that without, you know, discounting anybody's point of view and things like that, you know, to where you understand how things work and, you know, just the knowing, all this knowing, the knowing. And I started to realize that with this knowing, you could also notice all the errors all around you, you know, and how they lead to disharmonies. And, you know, you can also, of course, notice how the harmonic acts lead to harmony. And you end up, you know, it's like you end up being the fixer of errors, you know, it's like you're the one holding the cup under everybody's ass kind of thing, you know. It's like, you know, at my job, I'm very detail oriented. I have a process, you know, it follows the natural flow of the chakras, make sure that I get everything done and that I have checks and balances so that I don't make mistakes. But the other people, some of the people that I work with, you know, it's like they don't act in those same ways. So at the end of the week, I end up, you know, having to correct a lot of these things and errors, and, you know, same thing in the home. And, you know, God bless the people at my work and God bless the people at my home. You know, everybody is trying. Everybody's working hard in their process. But, you know, it's like when you can see how things could be more harmonic and you just can't force people to do it. You know, you can't force people. Obviously, that's the New World Order. That's what, you know, they're trying to do. This external pushing. So, you know, and even in the home, it's like when other people aren't picking up, you know, after themselves, and then somebody has to be the one to come behind and to do it all. And I just started getting overwhelmed, you know, just overwhelmed. I'm there now, you know. So I laid down in the bed and I said to God, to my higher self, you know, I need help. Let me rephrase that. I'm ripe for help is what I said. Because I'm not in a state of need. I'm just ready. I'm ready for the next step. And I was told that the next step is to surrender your knowing to the truth of your state of being. You know, and that's hard because it's taken a lot of work and a lot of effort to get to the point where I'm not asking questions anymore. Because the answers come from within, the knowing. It's like, you know, no matter what situations come up, it all connects like neurons of a brain, you know. It's like everything brings up something that it's resonant with, that it's familiar with, and it can connect it, and thus everything weaves together in understanding. And that's very beautiful. But it can, you know, when you can see, you know, and still, you know, everybody's errors are even good and things like that, but, you know, as humans, you know, we don't want to suffer. We don't want to keep suffering, especially when we see ways that we can't. So when others around us are making these mistakes and it's, you know, in the now causing suffering, even if we can see in the future, you know, that, you know, it's teaching us, you know, okay, it's going to teach us how to handle this, how to handle this. It still can be frustrating in the moment. And that's when you have to take your knowing and surrender to being. We know that we're unconditional love. We know that we're peace. And so, who cares if you're right? You know, who cares if you see a better way? You know, it's better not to sacrifice your peace and not to let yourself get stressed. And I'm not saying that I fully understand the moving from knowing to being, from knowing, you know, the infinite 0-point connections where you can see any processes and things like that, into the state of being where even though you know, the correct way to do something and you see other people doing it incorrectly and it is affecting your life, that you can still accept their choice, you know, and send light and love to them instead of a physical exterior reaction, and instead of letting it get stressed. It's about applying a state of peace and being to that and surrounding it by white light. And I know it seems very simple, you know, but honestly, when you're in that situation and you can see, you know, all the ways that things could be easier, and it's not happening like very quickly. I mean, it takes a while. It takes a while for people to move through these processes, but once you've gotten your momentum, it's like snap, 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 snap. You know, it's pretty easy to change most things, and then you'll hit this one thing, which for me is the frustration and anger that I've noticed that has been coming out, you know, because I feel myself fixing the errors, which can seem to not leave much time for fresh creativity, which has been getting me frustrated. So that's what the whole state of being answer, you know, is given to me. And I've known that being is important, your state of being, but I always have put knowing in this such a high, like on a pedestal, you know. And I realized that the next step from being is actually knowing. The next step from knowing is actually being. Of course, gotta say them both ways. Gotta do the balance. But, you know, I just wanted to share that because it seems very important for me right now. And I know if it's important for me, then it's gotta be important for some out there too. And I know the camera looks pretty odd right now, but I thought it looked kind of etheric, which is relevant considering we're shifting dimensions. So I figured I'd leave it like that. So I love you guys, and I send blessings and love and light to all of you on your journeys.